Well, good morning. It is Chris, Terry, and we are in the studio this morning with Peyton Crim, who is actually part of the brand new season here this year, Terry, of the Broadway series at the Orpheum.
Yes.
And it's the play that goes wrong. And Peyton, good morning. How are you this morning?
I am great. I am delighted to be here.
So, you're also probably very sleepy.
I mean, you know what? I'm always sort of sleepy with this show, so it's okay.
Okay. How long you been on tour with the play that goes wrong?
I think we're on our 8th week now.
Wow.
8th out of 52. We're going a whole year on this bad boy.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now, you play Robert, who actually plays somebody else.
I play Robert plays the character Thomas Collymore.
Yes.
I love the name already.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you want me to tell you about our show here?
Yeah.
With what you can.
Yeah.
Because we were just chatting about this here, Terry, and we were talking about how we can't really say a whole lot because it would give everything away, all the good parts.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is a good part.
The whole thing's a good part. That's great to hear. So look, the play that goes wrong, we like to say it's kind of like Monty Python had a baby with Sherlock Holmes.
I think that's a great description.
Yeah. But there's a British university, a fictional university, the Cornell Polytechnic University, and they are putting on a show called The Murder at Haversham Manor, and we play the actors in that acting troupe. And we're just so excited to put on our first performance for the audience the night that you see the show. And right before the show happens, we've done our first full tech run-through, and it went perfectly. And we are just so excited to finally do this great show for the audience. And unfortunately, a few things don't go as planned. We're
watching some of the pictures right here.
Yeah.
These are hilarious little scenes all tied into one big scene that I have a hard time believing that you guys don't have something that goes wrong every night, because everything goes wrong every night.
It's a very complicated show, to put it mildly.
Yeah. When do things go wrong?
Every night. Every night.
And we don't know it.
But you would have no idea.
Because it's part of the show,
yeah,
then.
Every show should build themselves this way. That way they can get away with anything.
I think so.
Yeah.
How fun is it to have things go wrong that we don't know about?
Oh, it's fun. It's fun when it's not dangerous, because then we can laugh about stuff. But, when you're dangling from an 8-foot platform, there's a chance that someone might get hurt. I got bopped in the head last night, and I saw stars for a few seconds.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I'm guessing it wasn't the green thing, the plant.
It was related to that.
Okay, yes, at that point. You look like you're a little dazed, but we thought that was part of the whole thing.
Well, I'm just trying to live truthfully at every moment on stage.
Well, good for you.
All that was.
Well, let me ask you this, Peyton, because a show like this, while it's meant to look like it's just happening and everything's falling apart, do you use any kind of improv with this show? Is it different every night, or is it basically the same? You really have to be precise to pull off the gags.
Yeah, so what happened was the writers of the show, they also performed in it. 3 main guys. They kind of put the show together over a few years on the road, as if they were like a stand-up comedian would, where they're working on an act and honing it all together.
Sure.
But there's 2 or 3 places in the show where the script just says, ad lib about finding coal. And
no kidding.
Yeah, so you get to go out there and try some new material every few nights and see what works and what doesn't.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because it seems like everything has to be timed with all the stuff that goes wrong, and if you change it up, how does your castmates, how do they know?
Well, I mean, usually if you see them not looking at the audience and their shoulders are bouncing up and down, that's
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Now, there's quite a few fourth wall events that happen here, and you guys break them constantly.
Yeah.
This is great. Was that in the original, or is this something that's an adaptation?
All that stuff is
all original.
The show. Yeah, the show is, as you know, Chris, is very complicated, and so everything that happens is kind of like a fine Swiss watch.
There's that. Yeah. Yes. And as the play progresses, and what I love is that you guys just buy into the whole we have to do this no matter what, because we're live. We're gonna do this.
Do it live.
Yeah, and it's a very active performance on your part, some other parts. There's a lot. Did you know this going in, that this was going to be so physical?
Well, I had, before the audition process for me, I had about 20 friends. That's not an over-exaggeration. 20 different people say, the show would be good for you, Peyton. You should go check it out. And I went and saw it, and I said, they know that I'm not an active person in any capacity. Why would you want me to do this show? But yeah, I guess the humor is right up my alley, and so I went in for it, and 8 audition rounds later, I got the part.
Wow.
But yeah, it was quite drawn out.
Wow. And timing is everything with this, because you have to wait for the audience to finally calm down. We were laughing and guffawing and gasping.
Yeah.
There's a couple of times in there where not only an audible gasp, but an audible gasp and silence, because we were terrified for you.
You can hear people clutching their pearls
Yes.
several times throughout the evening.
Have you had anybody in all your performances like stand up or say anything stand out that you heard the audience say?
The audience does get kind of rowdy at certain parts. Chris would know.
Yes.
But
Yes.
they're sometimes they might think that they have liberty to get involved more than they should,
Right.
and that's always a
I
good
could see
time.
that.
Okay.
Especially in the pre-show, we have a little magic that happens in the show before it starts.
I was just going to ask you, how early do you tell people to get to the show? Because there is a show before the show.
I would say get there 15 minutes before the show starts.
In your seats.
Yes.
And get ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good to know.
Where were you when you got the call that this was it? After 8 auditions, now you're in The Play That Goes Wrong.
You know, it was 8 auditions over a 4-month period, and for like 6 of the first 8, I thought, oh, I'm not getting this, and I was actually doing another show in New York at the same time, and I was just walking down 20th Street, waiting for another show, off-Broadway show that I was doing to start, and I got the phone call from my agent, and I called my mom, and then I went and I had to go back and do the show, and then knowing that, I have this other show lined up, so that's always a good problem to have as an actor.
I bet.
Yes. You got to give us the line that
It's on
was
the cup.
one of my favorites here. We've got The Play That Goes Wrong cup. Do you need to warm up for this, or is this natural?
No. Thomas Collymore. Good God, I needed that.
It's on the cup. That's
It
on their
is.
side of the cup. You can get that.
That'll
in the
make more
theater.
sense after you see the show.
Well, and you say this how many times? Maybe 6, 7?
I only plan on saying it once, Chris.
Oh, got it. Good answer. I like that. This is great. I laughed so hard that by the time we got here this morning, as Terry mentioned, my belly still hurt, and we had a funny bit, and I was in pain this morning. This is double over laughter. Anybody who has no idea what they're in for, get ready.
We actually we pitched the Play That Goes Wrong ab workout for all the laughing that you do.
That's what it is.
2-hour abs. That's what it is.
I love the line on the card we have here. It says, "You'll never have a better time in the theater," from Forbes. But I think we should use your wife Kim's quote, which is, she put on Facebook.
That she's never seen me laugh so hard in all of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Chris
LOL.
isn't an easy audience. You really, really love this. You talked about it all morning.
Yeah.
So.
I would go see this again tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
Come
really
on,
that
man.
exciting.
Yeah, well,
We'll give you a backstage tour.
I would love that. Do you play any other roles? Do you find yourself mixing things up, or is this just you? That's
This
it.
is just me. I have
Okay.
I would get my wires crossed too quickly, but
Okay.
we have 2 male understudies, 2 female understudies, and each of them covers. Well, the ladies only. There's only 2 lady roles, but the 2 gentlemen each cover 4 roles apiece,
Wow.
and that's a lot to cram in there. So they are exceedingly talented.
Well, I just thought maybe for the fun of it, you would want to try being one of the other characters, for lack of a better.
There is a gentleman
explanation.
who is dead for most of the show,
Yes.
and that would be my ideal role, really.
That's a great way to put it, because he is one of the funniest guys and he's not saying anything.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is it's just a lot of. You have to catch it while it's happening, because if you did, you missed it, and you don't know why everybody else is laughing.
There's our show is great because we've got a lot of slapstick comedy, but there's also lots of really, really smart setups for jokes that sometimes some of them take a whole 2 hours to pay off. And so, come to the show, ready to laugh, ready to have a good time, but pay attention, and it will definitely be rewarded.
Okay, now you do say line a couple of times.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. How do we know that you're not actually stumped?
Maybe I was.
That's what I love about this.
Oh.
You just never know. I think it'd be a fun show to do because even if you make a mistake, it's part of the show.
Yeah.
It
And
goes
then
along
your
with
stage
it.
manager is like, don't do that again.
Don't do that again.
Of course. You got to remember they're back there working their magic.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Well, not just so much back there either. That's the fun part about this show. Everything you see is pretty much in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
More as the show goes along, too.
That's cool. Well, Peyton, where may we have seen you in other things? What are some of the other parts you've done, or is there a role you love to play?
I was actually I'm a classically trained vocal performance person. I like to sing. I would love to do like a Sweeney Todd sometime.
Oh, I love
or-
Sweeney
yeah.
Todd. It's
Yeah,
one of my
you know,
favorites.
I personally, I feel like I'm still trying to age into all the roles that are appropriate
sure.
for
There
me.
you go.
But I've been fortunate enough to do lots of regional productions around the country. I've done some off-Broadway stuff. I did a production of Brigadoon in New York last year that has an album coming out
Love
later this
Brigadoon.
year.
No
That was my
kidding.
dad's
With Kelly
favorite
O'Hara.
musical, so I heard it all the time.
Yeah.
Gene Kelly.
Oh yeah, this
So
one has
good.
Kelly O'Hara and Patrick Wilson
Nice.
and myself.
Oh,
Very cool.
Yes.
Very
I
cool.
want to see and hear
yes,
that.
absolutely.
Excellent. Well, before we get you going here, one last question. Do you always take the stairs now?
It's an inside joke, I'm sure. But
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Go see the play that goes wrong, and you'll find out why.
there you go.
Fantastic. Peyton, thanks for coming in and spending some time with us
It's
this
been
morning.
a genuine pleasure. Thank you.
And what's really cool is there's still plenty of tickets left. The show is here through Sunday. Go to ticketomaha.com and get your tickets. We've already told a bunch of our friends this morning you got to go, so they're planning on bringing their significant others out.
Can't
for
wait to
fun
see
night.
all of you there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Thank you.